my bag's packed. I've got everything I need in there. As a Brit going abroad, I need the most essential of things: PG tips and a cup. I'm leaving to the airport in about 30 minutes, and then flight over to Poland. So I'm just at the airport in Krakow. There's a train going to the city centre. So I made it successfully into Ukraine last night, and now we're just approaching the outskirts of Lviv. In 12 hours I should be in the arms of my wife, and my son will be in my arms. So not long left. Guys, I made it. Yeah, it's been a long time, but I'm finally here.
Well, what a cheery film that was. Now, shortly after reuniting with his family, Ian spoke to GB News about how he was feeling.
Now, anger, frustration, worry, upset. I'm concerned for my family right now. I've had the utmost love and support from both people in Ukraine, Ukrainians themselves, people online on following my social media, and my family and friends. So we've had an outpour of support and offers of places to stay, and even paid flights to go and stay at someone's house in Greece. So the support is definitely there. It's just now it's down to me to get my family out. I'm the only support that my family has here.
Well, Iam Umney joins me now, I'm delighted to say. Ian, welcome. How is your family now?
We're okay, thank you, Andrew. We are comfortably settled in the UK. My son Jonathan is happily in nursery, and my wife is happily continuing her education here.
How difficult was it to get them out?
In total, it was very difficult. I didn't have a solid plan. I had no real idea of what would happen. But things happened quite nicely. They fell into place quite nicely where, we missed a couple of trains and we couldn't get on a couple of trains, but then we had someone who was driving out, and it was very, pretty much by the stroke of luck that we got out of the country.
Your wife, you say your little one's at nursery and your wife's continuing her education. Does she ever want to go back?
She does, when it's safe to do so. She wants to go back to visit her father more than anything, because he can't leave the country. We've got his visa ready, but he just can't leave until March this year. But definitely we want to relocate back to Ukraine from the UK as soon as it's safe for us all to do so.
And so many families have been caught up in this, Ian. How is your wife's family? Are they all okay?
They're all okay, but because of where they are, there is shelling constantly. The Russians are just over the river, and it's hit and miss, if you'll pardon the expression. But her father was at work one day when a shell came through his factory roof. So it is closer than we could ever have imagined.
Did you think that here we are a year later and the war is still a long way from being resolved, Ian?
To be honest, I didn't think it would last for a year. The journey I took last year, the dash to Ukraine, as I call it, it was looking like the Russians were going to be coming up north to our city, and I was angry and frustrated and worried at that. But the heroes of Ukraine battled, and they're still battling on, and they're still defending their own territory magnificently. But we need more support, to be honest. And
your wife, you say she's continuing her education. Is she able to speak on the phone or by email at least to her family, Ian?
Yes, absolutely. She keeps in constant contact with them, and her mum's actually coming over for the third time in about 2 weeks, and currently her friend is here, and she goes back in about 7 days.
And has she been heartened by the response of the British people to helping Ukrainian families?
Yeah, she has spoken to a number of Ukrainian refugees here in our city, and our son actually goes to nursery with one of the Ukrainian refugees. So she's had that community around her at the minute, and she's been very, very heartened by the support that she gets from the public, from the general public.
And what about your little boy? Was he aware of really much of what was going on? He's only little after all.
No, not at all. He had no idea. And in 10 years, when he looks back on this and he learns about what went on, he'll have a full understanding. But for now, he's just settling in and learning all three languages, Russian, Ukrainian and English.
Good on him.
He's doing